Good evening and welcome to Views with Joyce Waddell, and thank you for joining us this evening. We're talking tonight with Fabian Elliott. He's a student marketing major at University of North Carolina at Charlotte, and we have chosen our topic, choosing a career, because often students are confused, perplexed about the direction to go in. Some are pressured because of family values and because of family members prior to them to choose the major that that person designed for them. Others are looking for the short way out to find something that's simple, that can easily pass. And some just don't want to be challenged. But as we look to the future, the decisions that you make while you're in school will be long-lasting and will stay with you for many years to come. Welcome, Fabian.
Oh, well, glad to be here.
Now, Fabian, you're the president of an organization, a Black student organization, is it?
Oh, yes, ma'am. I'm the president and founder of the United Black Professionals on the campus of UNC Charlotte, and we're actually the collegiate affiliates of the National Black MBA Association as well.
So you're the president of both the National Black MBA local?
Oh, no. Well,
the campus?
No, we're a collegiate affiliate of them, so they were kind of under their umbrella. But on campus, we're known as United Black Professionals, but we just partner with the local Charlotte chapter of the National Black MBA Association. So it's more like a partnership.
But you organized and you started this organization?
Oh, yes, ma'am, on campus. Yes, I did.
It exists nationally, and you just brought it to UNCC?
Oh, yes, ma'am. And we we came up with the name United Black Professionals just to represent it on our campus. So there's no other really United Black Professionals, but there's other National Black MBA collegiate affiliates.
Was there a particular reason why you wanted something that said Black on the campus?
Well, there had been a void on campus as far as a Black professional organization, and we were looking to fill that. We had NABA before on campus, but some things had fell through, and there was no professional organizations for certain majors and things of that nature. So we saw a huge need for our organization.
What don't you have the Black Student Union at UNCC, and don't they promote the Black culture?
Yeah, they're more so, on the culture, the history, things of that nature, but we more stepping into the picture as far as how to prepare individuals for their future career endeavors. So that's kind of where we come into the picture as far as mainly on that professionalism type focus, that career development type focus.
Why did you deem it necessary to start an organization such as this at a predominantly, isn't that a predominantly white university?
Oh, yes, it is. And we saw the need because a lot of when you looked around, a lot of students were failing to see to realize the full importance of why they're in college, and they were failing to plan what to do after college. So there was a pretty vicious cycle of people making it through school and getting to graduation, but not having that career preparation. And so that's where we saw a huge need and opportunity to serve our Black student body on campus.
And so what percentage of the entire student body make up that organization, make up Black students?
Oh, it's around 12 to 14% normally on
Is
campus.
that growing, or is it staying about the same over the years?
I would like to say there's been some growth. I know there's been a big focus university-wide as far as bringing in international students. So that's been a main focus, but I would like to say that number's on the rise because our entire campus population is on the rise. We're now up to around a little over 25,000 students on campus. So I would like to say that number's increased. I don't know about the percentage though.
Artists, we'll continue to talk with Fabian Elliott. He's the founder of the Black Professional Organization on the campus of UNCC to help Black students to assimilate, to help them to provide assistance to each other, coaching to each other, and help them with their careers as they move forward in their endeavors academically. As you look at the kinds of majors, things that students major in at UNCC,
Right.
You don't have very many engineering majors. You don't have very many African American students majoring in those subject matter that relate to high paying jobs. Now, why is that?
I would say The chief reason is most of the time because of the academic workload that normally comes along with those higher paying positions. So that's normally the chief issue as far as that, and then as far as the support to make it through those more intensive classes. Sometimes that support's not always there.
But that's something that probably needs to be dealt with as you move forward with your organization, as you mentor students, because we see a large proportionate number of African American students in following career paths that end up not being marketable at the end of 4 years. And they end up sometimes, and more often than not, getting the same kinds of jobs that they could have gotten had they not even gone to college.
Well, there is some good news. There is an organization that we partner with quite often on campus, and they're the National Society of Black Engineers. So there's support for all the STEM majors, which is science, technology, engineering, and math. So we basically take everybody else that's on the other side, as far as some of the business majors, some of the communications majors, political science majors, some of those type of people. We take them, and the National Society of Black Engineers takes the STEM majors.
Now, as you look at those 1,400 students at UNCC and what they are majoring in, what would you say would be the largest major, the greatest percentage of them? What are they majoring in?
It's hard to say. I would like to think. I know
I can look at what they're graduating in. So I'm just asking you what.
Just off the top of my head, I would probably say a lot of people end up getting bounced out into that criminal justice, into that communications, because a lot of the other colleges, like the Belk College of Business, Lee College of Engineering, you have to have a certain GPA just to get into them, and there's certain requirements you have to keep to stay in them. So a lot of people end up getting bounced back into those criminal justice communication majors that don't have as stringent requirements to be in a college.
And when they finish college, it's difficult for them to finish in 4 years and get a 4-year degree. And if they do finish and get a 4-year degree, they almost have to go further to get additional training, go to law school, or go to some other program in order to market their skills.
Exactly.
So is that something that your organization will be working on?
Yeah, definitely, because one of the key things are, getting out, and I know networking is almost becoming a redundant phrase and a redundant word and concept, but that's really what it comes down to, and that's what our organization is about, as far as connecting our members to off-campus resources, as well as making sure they're maximizing their on-campus resources, such as the Career Center, and there's a lot of support on campus, but it's a fact of people taking the initiative to utilize those. So that's what we're focusing on, as far as maximizing those on-campus resources as well as the off-campus resources.
Now, there's some great things that happened to you as you were choosing your major, and as you chose what you did, and as you're moving forward, you received a great internship.
Oh, well, on Monday, I'm flying up to New York for a final round interview with Google for an internship this summer. Last summer, I went through Target's executive training program, which was more on the retail management side. So now I'm looking to get more into my major, my marketing field, with this summer coming up.
Now, Google usually they don't want you to tell that before it happens, the company, because a lot of things they want to keep secret. If it in the event it does not happen.
Well, it's just an interview, so.
But you're excited about it.
I'm very excited about it, because they're flying me up there. They're gonna put me up in a hotel for the night. I don't have to pay for any of that, so it's gonna be a nice experience. And I haven't been to New York before, so I'm really looking forward to that.
And as a result of that internship, it may lead to a job for you with that company.
Oh, yes, definitely. And if not with that company, another company, because Google's a very well-respected company. So with that on your resume as work experience, it will make you a lot more valuable and appealing to other companies as well.
Audience, we'll continue to talk with Fabian Elliott as we talk about choosing a career and how important it is for young people to do the research, do the math, and to be involved in things that are difficult, that seem difficult, but in the end may be very promising. And for them to focus on taking the tough courses, preparing early, and moving forward. And we all have a responsibility to help them, to nurture them, to mentor them, and to guide them. So why is it that you chose UNCC rather than another of the HBCUs?
Well, UNC Charlotte, I felt like when I was determining what college I went to, first, I was going to go to, first of all, I narrowed it down to I wanted to stay in the state for like in-state tuition. It's a little cheaper, things of that nature. So I knocked that off, and then I was like, okay, I don't want to go to a private school, so I want to go to a public school. So I knocked that off as well.
What is it about a public school that's more exciting than a private school?
Well, I don't know what would be more exciting. I guess a lot of my thought process was based on finances as far as normally public schools are cheaper than private schools. So that was kind of my thought process behind that.
Unless you got a good scholarship.
Right, a very good scholarship.
All right. Now you in high school did you play all 4 years?
Yes, ma'am. I did 3 sports in high school: football, wrestling, and track. I was on varsity football and wrestling from my freshman year all the way through, and I was actually an all-region football player and a 2-time all-conference football player. And
you didn't want to seek a college football scholarship where you may have gotten just a full ride? Yeah, one of the HBCUs or any other school?
Yeah, it was a tough decision. It was kind of failure on my part to market myself properly when I was in high school to get exposure. Because even though I was an accomplished athlete, I didn't take the proper steps to get exposure to some of the bigger colleges and things of that nature.
I've heard young people say that before, that they didn't market themselves as an athlete, and I've heard also where their parents did the films of them playing and sent them to various schools, and the parents marketed them to get them the scholarship. So it takes a lot. It's just not that you play and you'll be a good player and that's it. There's a second step to it.
But I feel like everything works out for a reason, and
that's God's reason for you.
Right. Because I started to have some injuries coming into my senior year and things of that nature. So I feel like it probably worked out for the better.
Did you have your eyes at that time on professional sports?
No, at that point,
I mean, early on, being an athlete for 4 years, did that not ever come in your mind that you want to be professional?
By the time I got into high school, most of those dreams have been shot down for the most part. But I guess it was always something leering out there. Maybe I was focusing on college first, not so much the professional level at that time.
Something happened to change your focus.
Oh, as far as when you start hearing statistics, as far as 0.0001, all that makes it the professional. It can kill your dreams if you're not set on it.
Out of 1 million people, out of 500,000, you're going to be looking for 100 who are going to be lucky enough to be at the right place in the right time.
Right.
And one can be just as good as another, but it's just not going to happen for everybody.
Right. I believe it's where opportunity meets preparation for the most part. That's how it ends up working out. But it taught me a valuable lesson because I saw how I was a talented athlete, but because I didn't put myself in position to say get picked up by a college, I was able to take that and apply it to now as far as me being a collegiate business student and wanting to get picked up by a very good company. So I've taken my lessons from not being as assertive as I should have been and applied them now to what I've done as far as doing internships and getting out in the community and network, and actually how I met you. So that I've taken that. I learned a valuable lesson.
Well, being assertive is a large part of it, and I'm glad that you see it now because things sometimes just don't happen. People have to know, and they have to know that this person has a desire and this person has a skill and a talent, and it can be utilized. Right. Audience, we'll continue to talk with Fabian Elliott. He's a student at UNCC with a very promising future. He's president and founder of the Black Professionals there, working with other students and doing a lot of things. But we're going to pause for a moment and take you to some sights and sounds around the community, things that we saw going on, and we stopped to take a look, and we're going to share them with you.
Getting hurt, I'm showing dirt, I rise up. Come on, sing it. First of all, I enjoyed my time with y'all. We stroll the beat.
Audience, we're continuing to talk with Fabian Elliott, student at University of North Carolina in Charlotte, and he's the founding member of the Black Professionals organization there that they didn't have before. A young man who is moving forward and thinking forward to help other African American students on campus be successful and choose a productive major and get good internships that makes a difference. So when you think about what a person should major in and the amount of money that that profession brings,
Right.
does it ever come to mind that you look at this when you start choosing a major?
Yeah, that is a key aspect of choosing a major to see what type of as far as knowing what type of opportunities will avail themselves with going with that major. And the Career Center is really good at that because there are different personality tests you can take there, and they can recommend different majors for you based on some of your interests and things of that nature. And they can also show you based on different industries, different professions in those industries, and they even go as far to tell you the salary, some of the skills required for a specific occupation, the outlook on that occupation for the next 10 years, and just a lot of different things like that.
Or do they do a lot with entrepreneurship to help people with?
There's actually a
And
new.
have you thought of that? Because the major things that most of you are majoring in today are things 10 years ago.
Right.
Majors that didn't exist 10 years ago. And I'm just looking at all the different kinds of majors that are brand new that didn't even exist.
Yeah, as far as entrepreneurship, there's a new certificate at the Belk College of Business that students can do in any major. They can take about 5 to 6 classes and graduate with a certificate in entrepreneurship. And so that's awesome. And they also do a few different, there's a case competition at the end of every year for different people with entrepreneurship ideas to present them and possibly receive funding. And so there's a lot of different entrepreneurship options.
And who will they get funding from? Somebody on campus? The campus do they have money to fund it?
If I'm not mistaken, I believe there's certain sponsors that sponsor that event, and some local business owners, some investors, they invest in that person's idea. So to my knowledge, that's how normally the funding works.
Now you're doing more in the community, your organization, and how many members are in your organization?
Well, we have a pretty open organization. You do an application to get in. We probably have about 30 to 40 applications that we have received, but some people come to our meetings, haven't turned an application, and some people have turned an application, we've never seen them before. So normally we average about maybe 20 to 30 people at our weekly meetings.
Now, as you think about the community and being connected in the community, I know many majors now have that as a requirement.
Okay.
Community service.
Right.
I don't know if all of them have it, but do you have it as a requirement?
I don't have it as a requirement for my personal major, but since I'm in the business honors program, I was required to do 40 hours of community service last semester. And it was just my personal choice to continue it to this semester.
40 hours is a lot of community service.
It was quite a lot of community service, and it was quite a lot.
Now, do you get credit for that, but not so much as a letter grade, but do you get credit for your community service?
It was a requirement for a business honors class I was in. So if I wanted to do the 40 hours, I wouldn't have gotten credit. So yeah, I would say I did get credit for that.
What is business honors? How is it different from just regular business?
Okay, well, the business honors program, you get into it your freshman year coming in, but I'm kind of a special case because when I was coming in my freshman year, they had to suspend the program. So going into my sophomore year, I approached the directors because I wanted to get into the organization, to the business honors program, and because I had solid grades and leadership activities, things of that nature, they let me in. So currently, I'm the only person from my class in the business honors program, but basically we do different activities, and we take like one extra class each semester, which is a business honors class, and we might focus on leadership or corporate civilism or different things of that nature.
So what kinds of jobs, how is majoring in marketing different from just majoring in another aspect of just general business?
Okay.
What does it prepare you for?
How's it different? Well, marketing is, from what I've been hearing and reading, it's really it's going to be the new wave coming in as far as business leadership, because if you look back at the last 20, 30 years, a lot of CEOs and different people at companies have a finance background. But now moving forward, if you look at the YPO organization, which is a Young Presidents organization, which are CEOs and presidents of major companies that are under 40 years old, a lot of them are starting to have marketing backgrounds, because as we go into a globalized economy, it's important to have that market in mind to be able to capitalize on different trends and jump into new markets and recognize things of that nature. So I feel like it will be one of the most dominant waves moving forward.
So it makes you more specialized in what you do and focuses on not only selling, because usually marketing, people think about sales, don't they?
Yeah, sales is a wave under there.
Yeah, preparing things for the market, the marketplace.
Okay.
And the marketplace is usually where you're going and buying something.
Yeah, it's a lot of different aspects, with marketing. They'll prepare you on the back end side as far as doing market research and identifying target markets, as well as once you've done that, promoting your product or your service to people and things of that nature. So,
and so that's one of the new majors of the future. One of the things that we should be looking at and expect to hear more about.
Coming down the road, as far as people that are going to be rising to leadership positions, having those marketing backgrounds, because now more than ever, it's important to be able to think outside of the box, but still have those sound business principles ingrained in your head, which you would get with a marketing degree, because you get more on that creative side, but you still have to take the accounting classes, the finance and the economics, so you have a good balance.
Okay, that's interesting. You didn't choose to go into banking, since Charlotte is like the banking capital of the United States.
Yeah, it's a very interesting story. I was approached as far as maybe double majoring in finance and marketing, but I really had to follow my heart and go with where my passion was, and go with marketing, because I have a lot of experience, and I've also experienced a lot of success with marketing. So,
I want to thank you for sharing with this viewing audience.
Oh, no problem.
And thank you for being with us today on Views with Joyce Waddell.
No problem. Thoroughly
We're going to
enjoyed
be
it.
following you and following your career and
Okay.
see how things are going with you.
Okay.
And we're expecting to hear great things.
I appreciate
And
that.
audience, too, I want to thank you for being with us on Views with Joyce Waddell. I want to thank this crew. They've been here and they've helped, made up of volunteers. And thank you for being here today.